Let's see. Hey guys. Oops. Hold on, playing. Hello. Just getting things set up, you guys. Give me a second. Hey guys, hello, welcome. I'll give it just a couple minutes, see if we can get a few people on. I know I did this kind of last minute, and this is my first live, so bear with me, guys. I'm learning how to use this. All right, let's see. Well, maybe we can go ahead and get started. Let's see. All right, well, hold on, guys. So what I wanted to talk about today was about coaching and what coaching is all about, and see if it's something that you might be interested in. So let's talk a little bit about coaching, and we'll see if anyone has any questions. I wanted to talk about how coaching is really about aligning our ego mind, about releasing the ego, about letting go of our old ways of being, letting go of the inner child issues, letting go of the things that we get kind of stuck in because our life mirrors to us what we believe, what we're thinking, what's going on in our head, really, and where we stop ourselves, where we protect ourselves, where we can't let go and allow ourselves to move forward. So, this is about releasing all that, or at least awareness of all that, so that we can release it and let go of all that and move forward on our path. So it's about aligning us with the ego mind. It's about not with the ego mind, with the soul, with the heart, and releasing and aligning the ego mind with that, and releasing all those old ways of being, old fears, old things that we get stuck in, and letting that all go. So coaching is just kind of talking through some of the things maybe that are going on in your life, talking through the mirrors you're seeing in your life, the things that are in your awareness, and maybe where we tend to spiral a little bit in our lives with the mirror stuff, and it takes us a while to clear stuff, to be honest. So you have to move through it and let it go. And it's just about letting that happen, but also observing what's happening in your life and observing that you are spiraling through some maybe issues in your life, maybe ego patterns, old fears. So I'm talking a little bit about coaching for those who've just joined, and about how we tend to have to learn to, through coaching, observing our life and talking through some of the things in our life and watching that pattern sometimes of what we're spiraling through, of the patterns that are occurring, the things that our life is mirroring to us, and what we need to observe about that, how we need to move forward with that in a new way, how we can make changes, how we can see what we're doing, how we can even go back in our lives and understand exactly where that comes from and why we have those old patterns. So anyway, that's some of what we're going to be doing in coaching, and I'd like to do more coaching videos with you guys too, just some little tidbits of coaching, and I'll do a lot more of that with my subscribers. But I'd like to do more live coaching with you guys and give you a little sample of what coaching is all about, because coaching is really a critical element I've found in my life, to helping me to talk through things and really observe patterns and observe what I'm doing, so that I can see it from a new perspective. And sometimes it's really helpful in having a coach to sit with you in that, and to talk it through and observe it from a different standpoint, because it's really what our life is about. It's mirroring things to us, right? It's mirroring our beliefs to us. It's mirroring what we believe, and maybe old wounds. It's mirroring things to us that we need to be aware of, because we are creators and we're creating things in our life. And if you want to manifest at a higher level, then you have to start observing what your life is mirroring to you, because it's mirroring to your beliefs. So coaching, like I said, is really about someone else sitting with you and helping you to kind of observe what you're doing and what your life is mirroring to you, and how you can move through that more easily, how you can move to a higher level. So it's really, about looking at the ego, really looking at the ego. That's really what we're here to do as souls, because when we're not in human form, we're souls, and we are divine, we are perfect. We're of course doing our own thing, but we're not in this human body with this human being who's a completely separate being with a separate mind. So this is an experience we came for. It's something we came to learn through. It's a very dense experience. Obviously things happen more slowly here in the human world than in the soul world. So it's about patience. It's about compassion for this human. It's about understanding and love. And it's about, really, really being the observer, like I said, aware of this life, this person, this mind that you've taken on, and learning to drive it. Really, it's like a huge driver's test, right? We're just learning how to manage this avatar that we've taken on, and everything that it gets wrapped up in. And it's like a small child who only knows this lifetime, who doesn't know what's beyond, who doesn't know what's possible, and it's scared and trying to stop everything and limit everything. And it's upon us to really observe that, and to understand what they're going through, have compassion, have love for them, but also be the adult in the relationship, be the parent in the relationship, and allow them to have an adult to lead them. That inner child, that ego mind needs an adult to lead them through things, and we need to be patient and understanding with that. But that's really what coaching is all about, is sort of helping us to see all of this, helping us to see that inner child, helping us to see what we do, what our patterns are, what our ego is doing, and take a step back. And sometimes I find with my own coach that it helps me to just talk it through and have someone else see it from a new perspective with me, help me to have a new awareness about something that's happening, because like I said, life mirrors everything back to us. All of our beliefs, all of our wounds, everything we're carrying around, everything that inner child believes, and what the ego is doing, what kind of loop we're in. So it's what I find is most helpful about coaching is to talk it through with someone and say, this is what's happening, and sort of us both then taking a step back and seeing it from a new perspective and a new approach, and maybe even digging a little deeper into, why is this coming up again, or where's the old pattern coming from? It's about self-observation. And that's what life is all about anyway, is self. We're here to be in this avatar and to take this journey with this human being, to learn to drive basically. But we have to be able to observe them. And when they start to manage things, when they start to take things over, when they start to lead, when we don't want them to lead, that inner child ego mind. And they do, and they have led our lives for so long, just because of the fear vibration that's been prevalent on this planet. And it's one of those things that we're all awakening to. The vibration of the planet is raising, the vibration of all of us is raising, and subsequently it's all coming into our awareness even more so, because it's all coming up. Like all of the things that we've been doing in the world, in our lives, all of the things that we've been doing out of fear, out of lower vibrations, is coming up. And so we really need to observe that rather than going into the fear and looping back into the old patterns. We need to observe what's going on. We need to step back from it as the soul and observe that, we've been very controlled in this human world. We have been very controlled, and we've been allowing ourselves to be very controlled. We've allowed ourselves to believe that we're not powerful, and we are powerful. We can, everything. We're creators. We're creating our own lives. We're creating this world. And really, it's about stepping back and seeing that. That's what awakening is all about, is stepping back and seeing that we are the powerful beings, managing everything. But that's what, I want to talk a little bit about coaching. And that's really what coaching is about helping you to navigate that, is to help you to see, oh gosh, this frustrating event that just happened in my life is reflecting a pattern to me, and we can sit and talk a little bit about it and observe it a little bit and see where that pattern comes from, perhaps, or where you see that pattern in other areas of your life, or where you've seen it before. Have you seen this before? And where does it come from? And it's not about guilt or feeling bad about things. But it's about observation, because it's not you. I think that's what a lot of people don't understand. It's not you. You have this human avatar with their own mind, and they've been stuck in fear, and they've been driving things for a long time. So it's really about, I coach in the way that I'm going to take you back to the soul level. We're going to see things from soul level. We're going to observe with a new awareness, and we're going to see what your human is doing and why. And we're going to take a look at the patterns in your life, or what life is showing you right now, and why that might be happening, or what's coming up and why. And that's what's happening in our world too. Like right now, that's really what's happening in our world. And it's not for us to all go to fear. It's for us to step back and go, whoa, wait a second. What's happening here, and why is this happening? What did we create? Where were we? Like, were we stuck in our brains and our spiraling minds, like that we're stuck in fear, and we created a world of fear, or we created fear in our lives, or we created, different things in our lives? Like, for example, I know that in my own life, I was very much stuck in this pattern, that was taught by my parents and generations before then, of lack and unworthiness. And I took a career path in the corporate world where I felt I had to go. Like, that was the place to go for abundance, right? That was the place to go to make money. That was the place to go if you wanted to, it was ego, achieve. Like, that was an achievement. I remember my dad wearing the logo, hats with the logo of the that I worked for, because that was a thing of pride for him. That's a human thing. It's a human ego thing that we've been taught, that these are the things that, show achievement. These are the things that pump up the ego, that make us feel abundant, that make us feel like we've succeeded. And it's all false. It's all about the human world. It's all about the ego mind. And it gets us in places where we get kind of stuck and in this, hustle and this overachievement and this, trying to people please and self-sacrificing. And I know I was very stuck in that place in the corporate world for many, many years, too many years, of thinking that, I had to sacrifice. I had to work long hours. I had to, not take much vacation, because they certainly don't give you much, that you have to make all these sacrifices in your life and in your world and in your stress levels, and this feeling of overwhelm and stress. And I found a lot of people are unhealthy. A lot of the people that reported to me, I had people have heart attacks. I had people have tell me they were diagnosed with cancer, you name it. Like, it's a toxic environment, right? And that was just one thing in my life that came into my awareness, that gradually, that I'm like, wow, I'm really making enormous sacrifices. I really wasn't seeing the patterns in my life. I wasn't seeing that I was stuck in this loop of lack mentality, of self-sacrificing. And that really started to come into awareness for me personally as I worked with a coach, and as I started to see the patterns and the things that were going on. And I started to really start to step more fully into my own power. And I started to, for example, speak up at work. I started to say no to things when they were trying to dump extra projects on me. It was like, no, I'm not going to take that on. So, it's really about, what I love about coaching people and about working with my own coach is that, it helps you to have this other perspective, this other person to help you see with more awareness these old patterns that we're stuck in, these old loops that the ego mind gets stuck in, these old loops that our inner child gets us stuck in, based on these old beliefs that we have around, lack and unworthiness and you name it, and start to make shifts. And, as you make those shifts, you can start to align yourself again with your soul, with who you are, and you can start to align your life to manifest more. And that's really the key goal here, is to create the life that you came to create at soul level. And your soul is just basically learning how to drive the human, right? The human avatar. And so it's, when I talk about that, that I'm coaching people, and I really wanted to talk a little bit about coaching. It's really about helping you to align that, to bring, I laugh because I'm like, my ego is like here and there and all over the place. And it's really about bringing it into this, more neutral place where the soul is driving, and the human's not in the past, if they're not in the future, they don't have you in this constant thought loop where you can peacefully navigate from a very centered place. That's your ultimate goal here as a soul, like to be able to navigate from a centered place, without being all over the place in that ego mind, back in the inner child fears of, maybe how, if you were raised in lack, like I said, in lack and unworthiness, without trying to constantly project your future, trying to self-protect, right? That's really what the ego is doing, that inner child is doing. They're trying to self-protect. So if you're not worried about, the fears of the past, the lack and the unworthiness and whatever, they're taking that and projecting it onto your future and trying to think through everything in the future, which is such a huge waste of your time. As we know, you spend all this time in worry, all this time in fear, looping constantly, and you're not even enjoying the present moment. Like I said, you have to come back to center, to peace. And that's where we want to bring you in coaching, that's our goal and your goal in life is to come back to the center, come back to that peaceful place, be present, really enjoy your life, because that's really the goal, right? And when we can really enjoy our life and be very present, we're going to attract more joy. We're going to attract more things to enjoy in our life. But if you're constantly in that mind, and you're constantly trying to project on the future, trying to manage things, it's that inner child hanging on, right? I always think of it as like gripping. You're gripping to things. They're so scared all the time, and they're gripping to everything. And that's why that mind goes crazy all the time. And when really, if we can get you back to that peaceful, centered place, then you're not gripping to everything. You can actually enjoy life. And that's what is going to help you to attract more of that to you. So, this is really what I've learned on a long path of not only coaching other people, but being coached by having my own mentor that coaches me. And I wanted to share some of that with you guys today, just because I feel really passionate about this. It's been a long journey for me in terms of finding my way through this, and not that I'm done with the ego, because none of us are done with the ego. It's certainly, that spiral that I talked about, I feel like sometimes I'm in the very depths of it, and stuff comes up that's just like a momentary feeling, and I know exactly where it's coming from. And I think, we're gonna have a lifetime of that, but it's gonna get less and less and less and less. And the more aware we can be of what our ego is doing, or that our ego is in that, looping pattern, and observing things, and, just observing what's going on with it, observing what's going on with the inner child, then we can be more centered, we can be more aware, and we can keep bringing ourselves back to that place, back to that calm and centered place. So that's really, I'm coming back to it again, but that's really what we want to do in coaching, is kind of keep bringing you back to that awareness and giving you the tools that you need to do that, because there are so many different things that I've done over time that have helped me to manage this ego mind, to manage that inner child that's always trying to get your attention, that's always trying to grasp, always trying to achieve safety, trying to project things, and thinking about the past. So it's about giving you in coaching the tools to understand, to observe, to have more awareness, and to manage it better, because like I said, the better you can manage that ego fear mind and release all of that old stuff, which is gonna require some emotions too. I certainly have my teary times, that things come up, and we have to allow that. But we just have to become the parent, really, to the inner child, to that ego mind. We've got this human avatar. They've only got one experience in a lifetime. We're a soul that's had many lifetimes. We are the ones that need to drive. So again, that's what I want to help you to achieve in the coaching that I do, and in my business in general, and everything I teach. Like, I'm trying to bring you back to the soul and to seeing things from soul level, because that's what we're here to do. And that's really was one of our big goals, because we have a lot of things we want to achieve as a soul. We have a lot of things we want to experience. We also really want to enjoy life, to have fun, and to have a great time while we're here. And that's really the ultimate goal. Like, the divine in us is the highest vibration, is love, is joy, is peace. And that's where we want to be. And that's, to our human, that can feel so unachievable sometimes. But that's only because we've been kind of stuck in these lower vibrational energies on this planet. And that's shifting, lifting and shifting. And as it does, we just need to step into more awareness around, the fact that this is where we've been stuck. And rather than going back to the old patterns, we have a choice to move forward in a new way, and to really look at what tools and things that we can utilize in doing so. So, again, that's why I love coaching. And that's why I want to coach you guys, and be your coach, because I think that it's such a fabulous thing to be able to step back with someone, which I do with my own coach, and observe things and say, wow, okay, I see this pattern, how can I shift this? How can I handle things a little bit differently? And she's always giving me new tools and new ideas and new ways to observe things even. And I have a whole playbook full of all sorts of things that you can use, you can do, books, you name it, all different resources. So that's why I'm so passionate about coaching, because it's really brought me so far. I can't even tell you how much stuff I've shed and come through. And I mean, even past life stuff has come up. It's been such an interesting and wild and wonderful ride, in my own healing journey, in my own journey through, coaching with people, and all the different, I've done all sorts of stuff, hypnotherapy, and worked with shaman and all sorts of healers. And it's been quite the journey. But I find that as you've moved through, and I think we can all move through things faster now that the vibration of the planet is rising at such a rapid pace, that something as simple as coaching now can take us so far so fast. My coach that I work with, like, we can shift things in an instant. Like, it's like I said, it's just about the observation. It's about talking things through with someone. It's about new awareness, about seeing things. And sometimes all it takes is that moment of awareness of, wow, okay, I see the pattern. Oh yeah, I see what I'm doing. And you can shift everything instantly. Like, it's crazy cool. And I find that the more that I've worked with her, the more I'm doing that myself. I had a moment this week of something coming up, and I thought it was a sign of some action I needed to take. And I sat with it for a minute, and I went, oh gosh, no, I recognize it. I recognize that old pattern. I recognize the fact that what I'm assuming that's a sign for was an old pattern. Something that I thought I used to think that I needed to do, but it was more of a self-sacrificing pattern. And I suddenly saw it from this more self-honoring, self-respectful place that I'm at. And I went, no, that's an old pattern. Okay, they're just testing me. They're showing me this. And I say they, like the divine, our guides, our higher self, is showing us something sometimes to sort of test us and say, hey, are you gonna take the bait? Are you gonna take the bait? Or have you moved past this? So, I think but that's why I always say this is Earth School, because they do, they test us sometimes. They'll, again, like sometimes it feels like a spiral, like you're spiraling, like you're doing the same thing over and over. But that's only to give you the chance to go, oh, wait a second. wait a second, I've done this before. This seems familiar. I mean, in earlier times of my life when I was have dated someone, or I got a divorce, and then I started dating someone, and all of a sudden I'm like, wait a second. This is the same pattern. I'm doing the same thing. Like, suddenly to step back and go, wow, I'm doing the same thing. I'm creating the same experience with a different person. But it's, again, Earth School. We're being shown, how to step back and to observe our patterns. And really, I always say that we're the soul driving this avatar, right? So we're here for that experience. That's the experience that we're here for, is to learn to create, and to learn to enjoy life by driving this human, by managing this human. And so it's about stepping back and going, okay, what is the human doing? What is the human doing? What does the human believe? What are these old beliefs? And where do we keep spiraling? Because we need to stop that. And it's all about bringing you back to yourself. I think, some people go, oh, this is to take me to a better relationship or to take me to a better job. But it's really all bringing you back to yourself, right? Like, everything is bringing us back to ourself, to our soul, to our divinity, is really, because that's really, in this fear world, what we've been kept from is our own power. Is, everything is trying to make us feel powerless, so that, everyone else, and I shouldn't say everyone else has the power, but I laugh because I'm like, I was in the grocery store yesterday, and there was this pharmaceutical ad over the loudspeaker between music, or between songs. And it was absolutely intimidating. It was, why you have to get this vaccination or you'll get this horrible rash, or whatever it was. And I was like, wow, that's so manipulative. That's so horrible. But that's, if you really step back and start to observe our world, like, there's so much in our world that we're being controlled. Just watch ads on TV. Like, we are being manipulated and controlled all the time. Or our humans are, I should say, our human ego minds, who are in fear, who feel powerless, who feel like, we need this product, or we need this medicine, or we need this doctor, or we need this relationship, or whatever it is. We're always taught to look outside ourselves to find things to fix us, right? To make us better, to bring us the feelings we want to feel better about ourselves, or whatever it is. And really, we are an all-powerful being of light. And so it's really about us navigating back to that, and just continually stepping back and observing, rather than just being fed everything in our world, as we have been for so long, for decades, for thousands of years. This has been going on planet Earth. And it's really a time, this is the golden era. We're stepping into the golden era. The vibration of the planet is raising. Subsequently, all of our vibrations are raising. All of the lower vibrational stuff is coming up because of it. But it's about us stepping back and observing it all. And again, in coaching, I know I'm veering from that, but I wanted to talk a little about coaching today. But coaching, in coaching, I really want to help you get on that path and really be able to step out away from all of that, step back from everything that you're being fed in your life, or the patterns that you've been stuck in, the ways that you've been stuck in your ego mind, or your inner child's been controlling things, and really step back from that and really align yourself again with where you came to be as a soul, the life you came to live as a soul. And I guarantee you, as I'm seeing in my own life, you will manifest everything that lights up your heart, because that's really your connection to the divine, is your heart. And I talk about that in my podcast too, but it's the connection to the heart, and that's where we want to bring you back to, because that's what's connecting you. So it's about when things light you up, when you feel that energy of the heart, when you feel inspired, when you feel excited. Those are the things that your soul is leading you to. That's the path you're meant to be on. It's when the mind loops and goes to fear and tells you should do this, or I'm going to do this to protect you, or no, you shouldn't do that because you might look stupid. Whatever it's telling you, that's taking you off path. And in coaching, we can kind of I can help you to start to look at everything that's happening in your life and where that mind is taking you off path and where the old patterns, and it's normal. It's normal. It's not a bad thing. We're all, like I said, we're all dealing with this. Even I'm dealing with this. I work with my own coach, and she helps me to do this sometimes when suddenly I'll be looping in something and I'm like, wait. It might take me even a few hours to notice that, oh my gosh, wait a second, where has my mind been and what are we looping through? And I'm not even present right now. So, it's about us, in coaching, it's about helping you find the tools and find the ways and helping you to observe how we're doing this or how that human is doing this. I know that we are integrated with the human, but they are an avatar. They are a separate being that we came to kind of drive, so to speak. We came to lead them. So anyway, I really wanted to talk to you more about coaching and the fact that I really want to help people find their way back to that awareness and back to being the driver of your life again. I love the hearts and the smiles. Thank you. But yeah, to be the driver of your life again and to lead the way and not let that inner child, that ego lead the way anymore. You're gonna lead them with love and compassion for them. You know what you've been through in your life. You know what they've been through. You know that there was a reason for all the things that they were trying to protect you from, but there's actually no reason for the protection, because it's just the more we try and protect ourselves in those ways, or we allow them to try and protect us, the more we're just creating more of the same for ourselves. So it's about allowing them to let go. That's what surrender is all about. It's surrendering the ego mind. It's surrendering that inner child, all those inner child fears. It's surrendering that inner child, that ego mind, surrendering to the soul. So that's what that's about. And that's what I want to coach you around. Anyway, I haven't seen any questions from you guys. Do you have any questions? I'm looking to see if I see anything. This is my first time going live, so bear with me. I don't even know where to look for these things. But anyway, if anyone has any questions, I don't see anything. But anyway, thank you guys for joining me today. And I'm going to plan on doing more of these going forward. And I know I've got my subscribers. I just got my subscribers page set up. So I definitely want to go live and I'm going to do on camera work when I go live with my subscribers, do some one-on-one coaching with you guys there, in that space, because it feels like a little bit more of a private space and a group of people that will want that. They're working towards that, and hopefully it'll be beneficial to all. So I don't really want to put people on camera for the overall group here, just on Instagram in general. I'd like to do that more on my subscribers page, but I'm definitely going to try and do more lives here and talk more about the things that are going on, the energy. There's a lot of things I want to talk about. There's lots of things that have come up for me this year, a lot of things. And I laugh because I think we're really coming into a new awareness about a lot, and with the vibration rising, and people talk about we're going from 3D to 4D, and I don't know about the 5D thing, still figuring that out. But definitely new things are coming to our awareness. And for me personally, my coach, my mentor, she's always spoken light language. And just a side note, I suddenly one day said to her, I speak gibberish to myself all the time. And she started laughing and she said, that's light language. So there's so many things that I imagine you guys are probably going to stumble onto and find that you're doing, or find that you have a new awareness of. I'm seeing a lot of lights and a lot of things in my periphery lately. There's a lot more that we're going to be coming into awareness. I'm certainly coming into more awareness about, extraterrestrials and being guided to a lot more around that. As you may have listened to my video podcast that I posted on YouTube recently, the second half of that, I get more into that. There's a lot, and that's something that I couldn't have even grasped, to be honest with you. My mind could not have wrapped around that a few months ago. So there's so much new that I think is going to be coming into all of our awareness. So I want to talk more about that not just in my posts, but here live with you guys too, and kind of some of the things that are being brought to my awareness, maybe teach you some things, and maybe even, speak some light language to you guys, and talk more about some of the different ways that we're being delivered things energetically. Someone channels light language, and that's awesome. That's awesome. And I found that I also have done, and I do a lot of hands-on healing work, not so much as a business, but I've done it personally, and I do hands-on healing work with my dog. And when I channel light language, actually one of my dogs passed away in November, and when she was dying, I did this with her, channeled light language while I did hands-on healing, and it felt 10 times more powerful. So there's so many different things, different avenues and different things we have access to now as we're ascending. Like I said, I've always thought of myself as sort of the average person. So to be doing these things, I've been a Reiki master for years and things, but there are all sorts of new things that are opening to us. So anyway, I want to do more lives and even talk about some of those things and even do some posts. I'd like to start off with my subscribers. So as I get into, I'm going to kind of test drive some of these things with my subscriber group. I want to do some channeled light language messages, maybe some healing work stuff, do some live coaching. So I didn't want this to be an ad, but that's where I'm going to start doing some of this. And then I want to do some more lives with you guys as the general group as well. But anyway, this has been fun, and I'm glad to see you guys on here, and I'm hoping I can save this and post it to my page as well for those who weren't able to join us today. But thank you so much, you guys. It was fun to be here, and it was fun to talk to you guys for a while. Much love to you guys. Have a great day.